Hey YouTube! Arturia has released iProphet, a full-on massive synthesizer that's based on the classic sequential circuits Prophet VS. And that VS means that it's a vector synthesis or something like that. It's kind of like Analog, where you've got different waves that you're traversing through in different and interesting ways. Not exactly like a wave table synth where you're traversing through a single wave table. This is much more free and open. You can run all over the place between all kinds of different waves. And I want to show you kind of a big sort of sound with this. Like, I've been listening to the Not Radiohead album by Tom York that sounds very much like a Radiohead album. And it's got me thinking about synthesis in like these pretty but like kind of somewhat dirty sounds. So let's see what I can come up with in here. It has a whole hell of a lot of presets in here, but I could not find an init patch, so I made my own initialized patch, and I just got this. And regular watchers will know that whenever I'm making a big kind of pad sound or whatever, I'll usually start off by going into the effects first, because I want to shape the sound with the effects in mind. But in this example, I'm going to do that as the last step, only because I'm doing a video here and I want you to be able to hear all of the different vector synthesis that's going on. So let me see here. What have we got? We got a sawtooth. I'm going to change that immediately. I want to start off this sound. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that as is, and I'm going to go tool around with other things. Like that. That's our A, and I switched over in the mixer here to B. I'm going to make that something kind of messy. And you can use the joystick to shape between these two waves. So that's kind of a messy sound. I like the way that sounds in the lower registers there. Let me switch this keyboard into something that's going to be easy for me to just blindly pop at and still get good results. All right. Now I need another wave. Once again, I'm going to go for something that's a little less messy, like that other one was doing this weird death rattle thing. I want this to be kind of gritty, but not too bad. There's a whole bunch called hacks. Yeah, let's try one of these. Yeah, that sounds just a little bit more calm. And let's get our fourth wave in here. Now I want to go with another one of the hacks. And you can shape the octave range of each one of the waves individually. So this one's a little too high, so I'm going to bring it down a little. All right, I got my waves. I'm going to go into my amp envelope and switch this around. It doesn't actually call anything attack, decay, sustain, release. And the reason for that is you can do weird stuff with the sustain. Like, you can actually do something like this, where it's going to have our usual attack, decay, and then it goes right back up again. A little bit more exaggerated. It's down. Now it's building up again. I don't want to actually do that. I wanted to show it off, though. I think that's pretty cool. But the 4 is still going to act as a release here, so... Alright, I like that. Now I'm I'm gonna fuck around with the filter. All these different sounds in here are kind of crisp. They got lots of jaggedy bits. And I think it's going to be fun to play with the band pass, or the band reject, the notch. And I'm going to crank this up so that the envelope is completely shaping where that's flying. And I'm going to screw around here with the envelope for the filter. Except this time I'm actually going to be using 3 to bring up the filter to a specific cutoff that I like. So so I'm liking that. I'll be honest with you, that's mostly accident, just throwing things together. And I really like that it's got this kind of cool, it starts off kind of cool and then it gets warm as it goes through this. So it's popping up the filter and then bringing down the filter. And as it's doing that, it's cutting out sections of the spectrum that we're hearing. I'm going to give this a little bit of resonance now, just to exaggerate that a little. All right, let's hear how that sounds with all the other stuff. All right, now comes the fun part. We've got this section in here where we can map how this is going to be bouncing around automatically with these time variables. If you go into the first page and enable that. There's also a whole mod matrix in here, but I actually find that everything I've wanted to mod matrix inside of it is not available. Like, I thought it would be really interesting to be able to play around with the effects like overdrive, but to see there's no opportunity to do that here. You can play with the pan and the usual stuff like cutoff, but I'm actually not going to be playing around with that at all here because I'm going to have such a busy sound just from screwing around with the what they call the envelope mixer for this vector stuff. So I'm going to select my first starting point. Let's see, my most aggressive sound was on the first one, or excuse me, on wave B, which I had the death rattle on. So the time here is basically acting as a decay from where it's at presently. So time 1 is from 0 to 1, and it's decaying at whatever 65 represents. And it is going to decay into 1, which I am going to send... Let's try here first. Oh yeah, I got to give this some time because it's going to flop right. If you don't give it some time in this, it's going to flop right to the next stage. So I actually really like the way that sounds, but I'm going to explore some more here and move node 2 over to here. I'm going to bring down these times just a little bit. It was a little too fast. Give this a little volume so you're hearing what's going on. And right now I'm just kind of screwing around, trying to listen to what's happening. Over here, coming up here to our saw that's just a regular saw. Like it's the only normal thing that's going on in here. And it should start to go into the center point here. But it seems to not be doing that. You know, I've had some weird results with this. This joystick still seems to be doing stuff, even though I've told it explicitly to be using this envelope thing here, which is clearly affected by all these time settings. But look, listen to this. So it's doing stuff, even though this is, I would expect to have taken over. So let me approach this from a different angle. I'm going to listen to it as it's doing its little loop here, and I'm going to try to find a nice place to just leave this joystick, because I think trying to play with the joystick while all this other stuff is going on is going to be overwhelming. All right, I got an idea, right? I'm going to play a little chord here. I realize this does not sound great because I don't have any of the effects on, and I think you got the basic idea now of what I'm doing, so I'm going to throw in the effects so that it starts to sound better. Start off with some chorus to make it sound bigger. Oh, by the way, this unison detune would actually be awesome. Let me just play with that real quick here. Oh, yeah. But as soon as you turn on unison detune at all, like as soon as this knob has any value, you lose polyphony. So turn on the chorus to get the same sort of basic effect of giving it some extra space. I'll give it a little bit of overdrive here. This acts as a saturator. Oh yeah. The warm bits are very warm now. Alright. And lastly, some delay. That's too much delay. So I've got that pretty kind of quality to it. Like it's still playing chords, it still sounds nice, but it's really uneasy sounding. That one section of the middle there wasn't working out. I got to figure out which part of that was doing that. I think it's this. Yeah. All right. D wasn't working out there. I could try screwing around with it a little bit. Try bringing that down some more. Too much. No, that's just not working at all. Now the transition from 1 to 2, which is on 3, is not working out so well. Try something like this. Now that's creating an interesting effect as it's traveling between 2, 3, and 4. It's kind of wobbling there, but still not getting exactly what I was hoping for here. Kind of a gentle grit is what I'm hoping for. You know what? I think this transition is just too short. Let me try lengthening that out. I am on the right track there. That needs to come down just a little bit. That's pretty awesome. What do you think here? Just for shits and giggles, I'll throw in the unison just to hear what this sounds like. I really like that cool, crisp sound that warms, but I think it still sounds better playing chords. I hope you've enjoyed this Let's Play. Take it easy. That sounds fun, but a little messy. Yeah, that's too messy. Well, I can get away with a little bit of it. Let me try changing this to a notch. It's a little bit more common in dub. BS means band stop, which is usually thought of as a notch filter. And here that's really playing around inside of that delay because it's making this tight notch inside of the frequency spectrum as it's wobbling back and forth with the LFO, and the resonance is like making that really pronounced, so it's shimmering all over the place.